The Australian Army operates a wide variety of different equipment, some great, some not so great. Today, we thought it would be fun to do something a bit different and make a tier list ranking some of the equipment that the Australian Army uses. I'm Mel Pikos, and today, we're talking tactics. The tier list we're using today has the following rankings: S tier, superior, the top tier, and the absolute best, the cream of the crop. A tier, excellent, but not quite as outstanding as S tier. B tier, good and solid, but not remarkable. Maybe there's room for improvement. C tier, average, not great, not bad. D tier, below average. Not completely useless, but not to an acceptable standard either. F tier, fail. Terrible, completely unfit for purpose. Get rid of it. Remember that these rankings are entirely subjective and only represent my opinion. I'm sure plenty of people will have different views on some of the kit and vehicles that we are going to be talking about today. Also, when you look at them all, the Army actually uses a fairly wide variety of equipment, so this isn't going to be an exhaustive list. I've just picked a handful of different pieces of equipment and vehicles to talk about. Sorry if I missed something that you're particularly interested in. And without further ado, let's get into it. The EF88 Austeyr. The enhanced F88 Austeyr is a 5.56mm bullpup type assault rifle and is the Australian Army's standard individual rifle. This version is an evolution of a rifle that has been in Australian Army service since the late 1980s. I know this rifle has a lot of haters, particularly those who look to the Special Forces world where M4 rifles are preferred, but the EF88 is a reasonably reliable service rifle that's easy to learn and Australian made. This iteration, the enhanced version, has fixed most of the issues with previous F88 SA1 and SA2 iterations. That's not to say that there aren't still weaknesses with the rifle, such as the inability to adjust its butt length, which makes it difficult for soldiers who are significantly shorter or taller than average to comfortably and accurately fire the rifle. It also still has a notoriously difficult and hard trigger, requiring 7 to 12 pounds to operate as opposed to 5.5 to 9.5 pounds for the M4. However, sometimes it feels like the Steyr gets a bit more hate than it deserves from the defense community. I'm hoping I'm not going to cause too much controversy too early on in the video, but I'm going to go out on a limb and put the EF88 Austeyr in B tier. F89 A1 Minimi and Maximi. The Minimi and the Maximi are the standard light machine guns in service with the Australian Army. The most common version is the 5.56mm Minimi. However, the most powerful and longer range 7.62mm Maximi is also in limited service. This weapon has a reputation for having range, excellent reliability, and a good rate of fire. On the downside, it is heavy when conducting infantry attacks and requires a lot of maintenance to maintain its reliability. Overall, I'm going to rate the F89 family B tier as well. FN MAG58. The MAG58 is a 7.62mm general purpose machine gun used by dismounted direct fire support soldiers with either a bipod or tripod and also by mounted troops. It's an accurate weapon capable of both directly engaging enemy targets and suppressing entire areas from some distance away. Its variable rate of fire also gives it flexibility on the battlefield. The gun is both reliable and durable and has been in continuous use around the world since the late 1950s. The main drawback of the weapon is that it is heavier than many other general purpose machine guns, although how important that extra weight is depends on whether you have this gun mounted on a vehicle or you're lugging it around as light infantry. Even though it's a bit old and pretty heavy, its reliability and accuracy earned it B tier as well. Browning High Power. The high power, a classic design with its all metal and single action trigger. In many ways, this is still a good pistol, being reasonably accurate, reliable, and comfortable. However, this 1930s design is now obsolete in comparison to modern pistols, which have significantly more advanced features. It's long overdue, but the Browning high power is finally being phased out in favor of the F9 SWS, which is lighter, has a larger magazine capacity, has a safer striker-fired mechanism, and should be both more reliable and have a lower unit cost. I hate to do this to such a classy weapon, but the reality is that this is an old girl and it should have been retired a long time ago, so I'm putting the high power in the D tier. SL40 GLA. The SL40 GLA is a 40mm grenade launcher made in Australia and designed to be attached under barrel to the EF88 rifle. This is a modern grenade launcher which is considered to be robust, reliable, and accurate. It is safe and easy to load, and unlike the older M203, the SL40 opens sideways, making it compatible with specialized rounds. It's hard to find anything negative to say about this weapon, and it provides the Australian Army infantry sections with much needed boost in firepower in ranges beyond what you can throw a grenade. For this reason, I put the SL40 GLA into A tier. 66mm short-range anti-armor weapon. Small, lightweight and disposable, the 66mm provides Australian infantry sections with a limited but organic anti-armor capability, although the Australian Army's primary use of this weapon is against structures. While the 66mm has the advantages of being cheap, lightweight and easy to carry and use, it also has a lot of drawbacks. It is difficult to aim and is not considered to be effective against modern main battle tanks or infantry fighting vehicles, and generally struggles with anything more than the thinnest armor. At least it can still punch holes in walls. There's much more modern weapons out there that are more accurate and are more likely to be effective against heavier armor, but it's also light and cheap, and something is better than nothing. For those reasons, I'm putting it in the C tier. 84mm Carl Gustav medium direct fire support weapon. The mainstay of the Australian Army's anti-armor capability, the Carl Gustav is much more accurate and powerful than the 66mm, but not nearly as heavy, complicated, or expensive as the Javelin. It's a versatile weapon capable of effectively engaging a variety of armored vehicles, hitting structures, and it can also be used to deploy smoke or illumination flares. The weapon system has seen a lot of service in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, where it has proven itself to be deadly against Russian tanks, with it even knocking out a top-of-the-line T90M. It's a design that is constantly being improved too, with the new M4 variant being only 2/3 the weight of the previous variant. Its ammunition has improved a lot over the years as well, with newer rounds being more lethal and capable, engaging modern armor. With all these things in mind, the Carl Gustav gets it into the A tier. Javelin anti-tank guided missile. During the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, the Javelin seemed to rule the battlefield, allowing Allied infantry, including Australian troops, to engage and destroy any target they might come up against. Similarly, Javelins provided to Ukraine have been highly effective in destroying any Russian armor they might come across. Featuring a fire and forget system that hits targets from above, where tanks tend to have their lightest armor, the Javelin is effective against armor, fortifications, and has even been used against helicopters. It's a pity these babies are so heavy and expensive, but this is the gold standard in anti-armor weapons, so it still gets an S tier rating from me. M1A2 Abrams. Australia's new main battle tank, replacing the older M1A1 Abrams. Don't be fooled by the similar designation. This beast is a significant upgrade from the previous model, making the M1A2 one of the most capable tanks in the world. With top-of-the-line armor, firepower, and technology, the M1A2 is one of the best main battle tanks out there. That's not to say it isn't without its weaknesses. It's expensive. It has a gas turbine engine which guzzles fuel like crazy and is notoriously hard to maintain. And finally, despite its good general mobility, its heavyweight means that it struggles on certain types of terrain or lighter bridges. Overall, the M1A2 gets an A tier rating. If you'd like to know more about the Abrams, we did an entire video on them. Links are in the description below. Boxer CRV. The new replacement to the Army's venerable Aslav, the Boxer Combat Reconnaissance Vehicle, is well protected, has good firepower for its class, and great mobility. Its modular design gives it the flexibility to change loadouts according to mission needs and allows future upgrades. On the downside, it's huge for a Recon vehicle, meaning it's hard to hide and presents a big target on the battlefield. Despite this, the Boxer looks like it'll be a great platform for our army, so it also gets it into the A tier. We've also done a detailed video on the Boxer if you would like to know more. M113. There's no two ways about this. The fact that we are still operating these rusting buckets from the 60s and 70s is a disgrace. They should have been replaced decades ago, after we realized they weren't even capable of being deployed 20 years ago in counter-insurgency operations. These days, we'd only use them in a dire emergency. Despite upgrades, the protection on these vehicles remains too poor to protect our soldiers. F tier. The silver lining is that M113 will finally be retired soon, as they are replaced by the modern and capable AS21 Redback, which we have covered in detail in a previous video. Unfortunately, we are only getting one Redback for every 3 M113s retired, so not a great outcome overall. Bushmaster PMV. The Bushmaster Protected Mobility Vehicle is an Australian-designed and built success story. It's a versatile and easy-to-use platform with excellent troop protection for its class of vehicle. In particular, its V-shaped hull provides excellent protection from landmines and IEDs. It has proven itself in the battlefields of the Middle East, and the Ukrainian troops swear by the durability and the protection of the ones Australia has donated to their war effort. The Bushmaster is not a glamorous vehicle, but it's great at what it does, meaning it gets itself into S tier. Hawkei PMV. The Hawkei Protected Mobility Vehicle is the Bushmaster's smaller cousin. Unfortunately, development and rollout of this vehicle hasn't been as smooth or successful as that of the Bushmaster, with a number of teething issues to overcome. But that said, most of these issues have now been overcome, and it looks like the Hawkei is going to be a solid platform for the Army. If this video had been made a little while ago, I'd probably have put the Hawkei in the C or even D tier. But given the vehicle is finally getting its act together, I'm going to be optimistic and put it in the B tier. We've also done an in-depth video on the Hawkei, so if you are interested in checking that one out, it's also in the description. The M777 Howitzer. The M777 is the gold standard in towed howitzers. Lightweight and portable with titanium construction, it can be easily transported by helicopter, transport aircraft, or amphibious landing craft. It's highly accurate and long-ranged, especially using precision-guided ammunition. Finally, it is versatile and can fire a wide variety of 155mm munitions, including illumination and smoke rounds. The system has proven to be highly effective in combat across the Middle East and Ukraine. The Australian Army is currently in the process of augmenting its artillery capabilities with the M142 HIMARS and the AS9 Huntsman self-propelled artillery, but as far as towed howitzers go, the M777 can't be beaten. For this reason, the M777 gets itself into the A tier category. Tiger helicopter. We're going to finish off with a bit of a stinker today, unfortunately. The Airbus Tiger armed reconnaissance helicopter has been beset by issues since it was introduced. Initially, safety issues plagued the helicopters to the point that pilots refused to fly them, and there have also been a host of other issues with the development and introduction of this platform into service. While most of these issues have been resolved over the years, the cost of keeping these helicopters in the air is still way too much, so they are going to be replaced by the Boeing AH-64E Apache Guardian. With all the issues the Tiger has had through its lifetime, it gets a D tier ranking. So that's the end of our tier list. What did you guys think? I think one takeaway from this video is that most of the equipment that the Australian Army uses is at least reasonably effective in doing its job. Anyway, hopefully I haven't annoyed too many of you guys with these rankings, but I'd be interested to know what you think. Would you have ranked anything much differently? If so, let me know in the comments section, and feel free to add your own rankings for equipment that I missed in the video comments section down below. That's it for today. My name is Pikos, and we've been talking tactics.